Welcome everybody. We're just here for a bit of a racing chat this evening, and we'll probably look back over Christmas and look ahead to Cheltenham New Year's Eve. So just off air, we were discussing the going. I've just hold on a second. Let me just try and get a few people in here. Yeah, just looking at the official going, there was inspection at 4:15, and they've got it down soft all over at the moment on both courses. So not good to soft or heavy at the moment, but yeah, I guess could go heavy in places if the rain keeps up.
I'm sure it will. It's pouring with rain down here at the moment, absolutely throwing it down.
Yeah, there hasn't been, as Catherine says, there hasn't been much let up since about lunchtime up here either. So yeah. Right, I'm just going to send. If you want to, up to you. But if you want to hit the tweet button on the left-hand side, I don't know if you can see that. It automatically puts in a notification that we're on air and a bit of a screenshot and a link as well. So that might draw a few people in potentially.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to do that. You can change the text if you want to.
Yeah, got it here. It records like a little GIF. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's not letting me add much extra text, but anyway, I can do that. Cool. Okay, we'll see if anybody. I can see that Ollie's tweeted. So yeah, Christmas racing. What was the highlight for you, Catherine?
Yeah. Yeah, it was all right. I'm not really a fan of Christmas, to be honest, JP. But I've obviously just go through the motions for the little one. But yeah, no, enjoyed the racing anyway immensely. I thought it was pretty exciting.
And the highlight in terms of the races?
I'd say Zabana actually.
Okay.
I've kind of, I didn't just catch my eye, obviously would have caught a lot of people's eyes, but put Zabana in the notebook after he was second to a Petit Swan at Cheltenham last year.
Yeah.
This year still, just about, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then he went to Punchestown, and I mean, he was a really good third behind Jeski and Hurricane Fly.
Yeah.
And that kind of thought, wow, if he's putting in that kind of performance already to those two, you know, a champion hurdler and a dual champion hurdler, had hoped he might take the world hurdle route, and I thought he might win on when was it? I've got my days muddled up a couple of days ago, but I didn't actually expect him to win that impressively on that ground. And it was interesting that Davey was always seeking out the better ground with him as well, and I would make him a major player in the JLT or the RSA really, because I think he can be at, you know, that was 2-3 one at the other day, so he can go 2-5 or he can go 3 miles.
Yeah.
I'd prefer him actually to run in the JLT. I think it's not so much as a slog as the RSA. So yeah, a horse I really like.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, certainly can be a tough race. What about you, Ollie? Highlight of the races?
I think seeing Spinsacker win obviously was really good, especially in like a workmanlike manner. Showed he's still got a bit of the old desire there as well as just a bit too much class, didn't he? But Altior as well. We're in the pub on Boxing Day and with a few friends and loaded a bit of money onto Altior, so that was good to see him involved in. And also the novice event as well, Ahmad and Vaniter. That was a really good race.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I listened to that in the car on the radio, and it looked like it was Vaniter's race from what the commentator was saying, but just.
I think if they retry him left-handed, and he's all right, I kind of make him the major English contender, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the crown is Duvan's, but I think I was really taken with Ahmad. Thought he was. I think he said on Twitter, he's like a gutsy street fighter. You know, he looked beaten.
Classes of improvement.
Yeah, he looked beaten and fought back, and that really impressed me. And I love the way that he just goes. I love the way he goes from the front and just, if he's headed, he battles back.
Yeah, it seemed certainly seemed like that from the racing commentary. What about you, Roger? Any highlights that you caught on the TV or like? Did you go racing over the Christmas period?
Yeah, the highlight for me was the gross stupidity of racing yet again, shooting itself in the foot when you have a fantastic finish to a real flagship race like the King George, and then you decide to ban both jockeys, the winning jockey for 11 days, and fine him £4,500.
Yeah,
we're mad. We're absolutely mad. We send out the wrong vibes all the time. Both those horses brought their heart and soul into it, came out of the race fine, and we must stop doing this sort of thing. Because if you ban a guy and fine him £4,500, you're effectively saying he's cheating.
yeah,
That's not what he did.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's a fair point. Some non-racing, at least two non-racing fans of mine spoke to me about that, because that was the aspect of the King George they heard through the mainstream
absolutely.
media, and they couldn't really understand it. As if to them that was the most important thing, because that's what they picked up. So not the glory of the race or the fantastic finish or the fact it was Q Card's fourth attempt or anything like that, but it was just the whip.
And the other big is the usual where would Don Cossack have finished had he stood up? He didn't stand up, and they're there to be jumped, but very, very interesting. He'd been very close for sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it. I was actually surprised to see him shorten for the Gold Cup, so I took a bit of a negative view on how he was going before the fall, but I don't know what you guys think.
I thought he was beat going into the home bend, and then he kind of re-rallied, and then, to be honest with you, my eyes were more so on the front too. And then the next time I looked, and he'd gone. So, and I've watched it back a couple of times, but still find it. To be honest with you, I'm in the kind of last furlong. I'm more interested in the way that Vitor goes from travelling to going up and down, and not knock. I think I'm a massive fan of Vitor. I think he's a sensational horse, but I can't see how he's going to get 3 mile 2.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He just, he starts to go up and down on the spot, and he's got an extra 2 furlongs to race at Cheltenham uphill.
Yeah.
And that's my concern. I really want him to. I hope he doesn't run in the Ryanair, even though I've kind of championed the Ryanair in the past. I'd love him to run in the Queen Mother. I was having a conversation on the way back from Newbury yesterday with our friend Chutney Dave, and we was really like the 3 mile dropping back to 2 mile angle, and we were going back to when Desi was the top 2 miler and top 3 miler in the country at the same time, and obviously one man. I'd love to see him in the Queen Mother, because I think he'd actually beat his stablemate, and I'm a fan of Undersow, but obviously I think Undersow is exceptional, but I think Vitor is a freak.
What's your gut feeling about which race that he'll end up in, Catherine?
Oh, well, they seem. I don't know. I think that did put a question mark in their own minds. But the Gold Cup is the race everybody wants to win, isn't it? And they might think, well, we'll try it. He's still, what is he, Vitor? How old is he? What?
It's one that Willie Mullins wants to win, that's for sure.
Yeah, so
having never won it before.
I think okay, well, do we go for the Gold Cup and see what happens, and then next year we can always drop back. He's still a young enough horse, which I think is probably what is most likely to happen. I think he'll be looking for quickish ground, won't he? Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see, but I don't want to see him absolutely bottom. I mean, I think his class will take him so far. He's going to be in the shake-up for sure, but it just can't, all right. Well, to be honest with you, the ground at Kempton wasn't really that bad, was it? It was kind of, they were getting in a bit. Yeah. I can't see it. I'd love to see it. I think he's amazing, but I can't see it myself. I'd say I'd love to see him at the Queen Mother, but
it's going to be a very, very different Gold Cup with no Coney Gree. I mean, it's going to be totally different.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, that is a massive shame. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have been disappointed about that, Ollie, having the bad news breaking. I think it was 24 hours after you backed him for the King George, wasn't it?
Yeah, straight on the phone to William Hill to give him a bit of earache about getting him back, actually. So it was good of him. But You sponsor the race, so you must have known.
Fair enough.
We won't see Smad place in the Gold Cup either, so yeah, I'm not quite too sure where the pace is going to come from,
No.
Is he still going to go to the Argento after King George prompts, or is he going straight to Cheltenham now?
I would think straight to Cheltenham, I would guess. Again, it depends on what's going to happen to the ground, doesn't it? We could have a very, very wet time between now and March.
Yeah, I hope not.
It's certainly been a very mild winter so far, isn't it? So
yeah, I'm hoping we might get a freeze at some point, just because then we will eradicate all the bugs that are going around.
It has snowed. It snowed on Gold Cup day before.
Yeah. I've been there when it's been happening.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So you must have been delighted then, JP, with your 16-1 on Q card.
Yeah.
Notice you still got a voice anyway. Happy Christmas.
I was quite pleased with the result, should we say? I didn't actually think he was going to get up watching it. I just watched the recording. I didn't see it live, and I'm normally there as well. So sort of family, dad not being too well meant I couldn't go. But shame not to see it live. But it was a terrific race. So so covered a few Christmas expenses, shall we say? And
I thought it was very good for the Tizzards because last year they couldn't produce a winner. They had so many problems in the yard, and to have all that behind them, it couldn't happen to nicer people. It's great. It's great.
And I hate to rub it in, but I had a cheeky few quid with Hills on the 28-1 double as well, King George and Gold Cup with Q cards. So
Very good.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
I would cash in now if you can.
Actually, that was a question I was just gonna ask. Let's go round. I mean, I'll stick with Q card as my Gold Cup contender more in hope than anything else. But Ollie, what would be your long range fancy for Gold Cup at the moment?
I think definitely Don Poli. It's just, obviously only just scraped home in the Lexus, didn't it? But we'll get a much more really strongly run race in the Gold Cup over 3 miles too as well. I think that'll just play into its strengths. I think the value in the race at the minute is probably Road to Riches at 20-1. Seems like a big price. The way it went pretty much heads up with Koenigsegg, didn't it, last year? Could be a decent price. That
I'm not sure what to make of Don Polly. I keep kind of sort of writing him off, but then he just seems to win any race that he goes for. But
he's doing my head in. I'm having a nightmare about it.
I think you're the same, aren't you, Catherine? I was just going to say you prefer them to get out there and just do it easily in front, don't you? But,
well, it's weird because I love Barter's Hill, and obviously I think I was reading just before we went on now. I was reading Lydia Hislop's Road to Cheltenham. And she makes a really valid point, is that he looked bored in the Challow yesterday. I think he was, but he is a horse that needs to be stoked up a bit, and then just sort of just grinds them into submission, doesn't he? Really.
Potential Gold Cup horse.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is Gold Cup winner in waiting. But I love Barter's Hill. I think the most frustrating thing with me with Don Poli is, yes, he needs to be stoked up, but even when he's stoked up, he kind of takes so long to go past. Barter's Hill's out in front already. I don't know. He's given me an absolute nightmare. Yes, look, we know he loves Cheltenham, but I was having a discussion. Yes, because Dave's all over Don Poli for the Gold Cup, and I've been like ripping it slightly and calling him like Don slowly, and I said, okay, well, tell me how many horses have travelled appallingly and won a Gold Cup, and they're trying to think in recent memory, really, and only 2 come to mind, and that's synchronised in Cool Ground. Now, I think Cool Ground was, well, when was Cool Ground? I can't quite remember. Was it 92?
Something like that, yeah. I think
it's just, obviously, we've lost Koenigsegg, but it still is a pretty good Gold Cup. And that's my worry
everyone calls Don Poli a plodder.
Yeah, when you've got a character like that, because he is obviously, I'm not knocking his talent, he's got bags of talent, he's a beautiful looking horse. I just worry, is his head going to blow one day and just think, I'm not having this at all? That's my worry with him. But at the same time, I could see him sat on their asses coming up the hill and then just sort of finally it clicking and him going past. So to be honest with you, he really is causing me a headache. But at the moment, I mean, my heart would love to see Q Cards. I would absolutely love to see Q Card win World Cup. But who I actually back at the moment would probably be Jack Adam.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to have been sort of tipped up and supported a fair bit in the last few weeks. Roger, selection from you?
It's so wide open, I wouldn't plump for anything at the moment because the absence of Coney Green makes all the difference. It was a relatively easy race to read whilst Coney Green was fit and well, and certainly I would have backed him was he going to the races. Mullins hasn't won the race. He's probably got his best chance this year for some time, and it's just a question of which one goes where.
Yeah.
I will watch him very carefully. He's even been over to Taunton today, pinching prize money. You know.
Yeah. Fair play.
I see Ollie's just gone to audio only due to the poor internet signal. Amazingly, we've been on half an hour already, so probably don't want to really go on for much too longer, seeing as this was unscheduled. But anything anybody else wants to add before we wrap up? I'll stick the recording. I was just going to say, I'll stick the recording on the website, but I don't think anybody's actually watching us live, so maybe one person.
I think Nichols Canyon is proving himself to be a real champion hurdle contender.
Yeah.
I mean, was that his fourth Grade 1 or something like that?
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive fight back, I thought.
Yeah, it was a fight back. I wasn't bothered by as everyone knows that I'm keen on Windsor Park. I wasn't bothered by the run of Windsor Park. They did that all last season with him, kind of held him up, and I don't think the ground would have been to his liking either. And then, at Cheltenham you'll see different tactics. They bounce him out positive, and so I wasn't really too concerned about that. But
we've also got to remember this time of the year that trainers do leave a bit to work with horses now. Cheltenham isn't a million miles away.
Yeah.
Nothing is at peak at the moment. It just needs to be taken on for a few weeks before we get to Cheltenham. Things will change rapidly, as they always do, between now and March. The whole scene. What I am really delighted about is to see Richard Johnson grinding out the winners to hopefully hang on to a championship that he richly deserves. I mean, he's doing McCoy's, going from Calso down to Penzance, and producing the goods, which is good. Today, he produced a winner from nowhere today again. Just sheer guts to get it there, with the horse as well. Good.
Good. So, anything to add, Ollie? Anything you spotted over the Christmas period before we wrap up?
Just as Catherine was saying, really, I think Barter's Hill is the only bet I've had anti-post so far for Cheltenham. That was yesterday, so I expect I'll load up the Racing Post app tomorrow and see it.
Don't say that. I've backed him.
Well, one thing I would like to say, at Taunton today, Modus finished third at even money, I think. I think he will come out and be rather well handicapped the next time we see him.
No.
The owner does occasionally pull that sort of thing off,
Yeah. He may as well been written all over him, really, mustn't it? Yeah.
He ran on well to finish third. Let's put it that way. Yes.
Getting out of bed and Barry Garrity showed today.
Did you say you wanted a horse for New Year's Day, JP?
Well, yeah, if you're offering, of course, yeah, definitely.
No, I just spotted one earlier in the Dipper, 120 at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. Ben Pauling has a horse called Drummer Coup, and he used to be in the care of Michael Horrigan, and last ran in November of last year, but he will like the conditions.
Okay.
Obviously, as we know, Ben Pauling had a double yesterday at Newbury. Yard in great form. I think it's worth a shout, really.
Yeah, he seems to be a trainer who keep underestimating, if you ask me. So he might even get a reasonable price about that one. So yeah.
Yeah, Tilly has the festival winner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was good to see him win with Silver Grove, actually, when
Yeah.
it unfortunately lost a race when it won the race last time out. So it was good to see the owners collect on that one.
I have to say I was at Newbury yesterday, and it was like,
How are you?
it was just, the crowds were unbelievable. And it took us an hour to get out of the car park.
Blimey.
Really? Yeah.
It took us as long to get out of the car park as it did to get back from Newbury to Cheltenham.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was just from like 4 to 5 we were sitting in the car park.
Now, I went to the
And
meeting.
then,
I went to the meeting before, and it was really quiet. But I thought their new car parking arrangements would be better when it was busy. So
I think
surprised to hear that.
they just had so many people there. It was just incredible.
Yeah, yeah. They probably just weren't prepared for it, then, I guess.
Yeah, and also I think one car park was shut because of the weather.
Okay.
I kind of
Course,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really their fault, but it was. Yeah, and we, Charlie and I were just sitting in the car like, this is worse than the festival. This is terrible. You can't even get out and walk like I would at home.
It's quite strange, those luxury flats there that are right in the middle. I can't believe
Yeah.
how close they are to the racing. It's just like
Yeah, I know. I was practically sat on the loo, and they can like
Yeah.
see in. It's
yeah, yeah,
because they're totally new to when I was last there.
yeah. Me
So
too.
someone was having a party, and they were just all out on the balcony watching the racing. I was like,
Yeah.
great.
It's an interesting concept, because when I read it, they were building, they're selling part of the land. I didn't think it would actually be, I thought it would be like away somewhere from the action, but it's like couldn't be any closer, really, could it? So
I know they must get really like peed off with the noise and stuff, because it was pretty noisy there yesterday.
yeah. Okay, folks. Well, at least we proved the concept, so that's good, and had a bit of a chat, which was great.
Good.
What
So
about Phelan's boy, JP? Can it run in the Welsh National again?
I haven't heard any news, but I have been noticing the price come down. So not quite sure what's happening there, because they said it would come too soon, but of course with the postponement, then that gives them an extra week and a bit, doesn't it? So might well be okay now. Yeah, I mean the Roy, one of the owners, did say to me immediately after the race that there was plenty more to come. So yeah, that's encouraging for wherever he goes next. Yeah. In fact,
I would think Venetia Williams is praying that it rains every day between now and the 9th at Chepstow, with the team that she's got.
Yeah.
It's all mudlark.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. We'll have to do it again sometime soon then. And yeah, glad it's all worked. So
Yeah, it seems to.
yeah, happy New Year, everybody, and happy New Year to anyone that's watching live or watching the recording. And I shall probably see some of you at Cheltenham, perhaps on New Year's Day.
Okay, doke.
Very good.
Cool.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Cheers now.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.